Outreach Associate. Hello, I'm Lisa Smith, CEAM's Community Outreach Associate for the STL area. Welcome to the Parent Takeover on CEAM Live. And thank you all for joining us today. We're here to keep you informed on all things related to school choice. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to drop them in the comments section. We would love to hear from you. Joining me today is my colleague and the Community Outreach Associate for the Kansas City area, Samoy Manda.
Hey, Lisa. Hey, girl. Hey.
Hey.
How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. What about you?
Doing pretty good. Pretty good. It's been a long day, but I'm always excited when we get to hop on our CEAM Live. It's just always the best.
Yes.
Yes. So I'm so excited, and we have such an amazing program for tonight. We are discussing grassroots advocacy, and we do have a wonderful guest speaker that will be joining us here shortly. I'm just thrilled to introduce our guest tonight, Stephen Quinn. Stephen is the outreach director for Georgia CAN and the national organization manager for 50 CAN. 50 CAN hosts training seminars throughout the year, and I am so happy because I've been fortunate to attend one of the virtual seminars, and when I say the information was powerful and was absolutely amazing, I can't say it enough. It was absolutely an incredible experience. We're so excited to have Stephen with us this evening. As the son of two educators, Stephen developed a deep passion for education from a very young age. Growing up in a rural district in Eastern North Carolina, he recognized the urgent need to expand opportunities for children across his state. Stephen has since dedicated his career to this mission, working as a community organizer for numerous organizations. I am so excited for all of you to hear from him tonight. So I'm going to stop talking right now, and I would love for everyone to give Stephen Quinn a warm welcome. Stephen, thank you so much for being on the show. We are so glad to see you tonight.
Hey guys, how's it going? I'm excited to see you guys.
Yes. Like I was just saying, I was so excited when I got to be a part of the virtual training. It was absolutely amazing with Georgia CAN, 50 CAN, and just seeing all of so many supporters of school options all over our state. We even had individuals from Hawaii, which we were like, we would love to be there right now. Yes. So Stephen, you quoted one of your quotes, what I thought was very powerful, and it goes into the first question. You mentioned, I believe that everyone deserves a seat at the table. I love this job because it's critical to connect citizens to policies that our elected officials are working on in education. Stephen, that being said, can you share what strategies you use to make sure individuals truly have a seat at the table and their voice is heard? And then along with that, are there any specific engagement tactics you rely on to ensure that participation is meaningful and effective?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm excited to be here. Thank you guys for having me. I think families really want to get connected to what's happening in their own communities and what's happening locally. I always tell families that we work with here in our state and then across the country that it starts with just getting the knowledge part, where it's going into those communities and understanding what are the rules of advocacy a little bit. And one of those things that I find in this work that's really pivotal is that sometimes you got to step in and start researching, find out who your elected official is, find out who represents you, like what are their values? Do they align with you? Do they connect on some of those issues? I always tell parents, like, town halls are a great way to get connected with folks. 9 times out of 10, they have like a coffee chat. that's already existing, there's probably been like the same 5 people there. And if you show up, you're probably the new person. And they're like, oh, I want to talk to you about what's happening in that community, because it's something different. It's something new. I think the other thing is like listserv. So if you're not an in-person type of person, like most of them have some sort of like quick way for you to get information about them. So it's like either social media or maybe their newsletter. Those are great ways to keep updated. Like once you find out who represents you, like follow them in that space. You'll see about what's happening in their community, what they're doing, what they're working towards. We have some great representatives here in our state that just do like a kind of an overview of what's happening there. And then I think hop into trainings. I'm sure you guys do some amazing stuff here in Missouri. And I think trying to like build a little bit more confidence with yourself about how do I advocate. I think the hardest part in this work is barriers exist because we kind of put them up. And so if we can kind of walk into it and say, hey, we're going to try to like maybe talk to one elected official or maybe talk to one school board member or one community member as we do this work, right? It's much easier and much more efficient when it comes to the space that we're trying to operate in. And I always tell parents, like, make it a kind of your own duty to walk away with like, who is your elected officials, who are you represent you, and then like easy ways to pop in and get involved are just super simple and put some time on the calendar to do so. I think that's the hard part is we sometimes forget about it at the end of the day. And I know you guys don't want to like call your legislator at 10 o'clock at night, but keep engaged, I guess, in this space, if that makes sense.
Oh, wow. That makes a lot of sense. Stephen, you did mention something at the beginning. You said that go into the community. Are there specific like events or things that you do when it comes to going into the community to get individuals to participate?
Yeah. So we do what is called coffee chats.
Okay.
I've been doing this work for about 13 years here in our state. And I would just go and work at a coffee shop. And then I would open my calendar. And like what I learned was that like people show up, they ask a lot of questions. And then I also would like kind of like eavesdrop on other conversations. And 9 times out of 10, they were talking about something education related, especially if there are like some moms that were maybe dropped off their kids at school. And what I learned was like when you're in the community, you get a voice of what's happening. And I think that's one great strategy is kind of like plant yourself in those communities, have a chance to kind of hear what people are saying, but also schedule those individual conversations. Like those are where you're going to get the really important nuggets of information you need about what's happening in schools, what's happening in the community. I think it's intentional. I think as advocates, being good listeners is really key. And I will iterate this over and over again. Like the loudest voice in the room isn't always the voice of the community. It's those that are kind of sitting back, listening, hearing what people have to say, and then responding. Because I think it tells us like what people actually want versus the reality of sometimes that we find ourselves kind of hearing the same thing over and over again. And that's not what sometimes the community needs. And I think that's a really, really important piece. But I think taking a second, listening and getting out there and being intentional about where you're going. If there's a lot of drop-offs and pickups, like maybe you're at a coffee shop right beforehand or right after. Sometimes parents kind of hop in and do a little bit of work from home. They might be there. It might be a way for you to connect with those folks that are in that space and in that ecosystem that you're trying to engage in.
Wow, that's amazing. Thank you. And I actually wrote that down. I love that. Wonderful. Lisa, did you have something you wanted to ask? Uh-oh. Lisa, we can't hear you. You're on mute.
I'm sorry.
No problem.
I was going to say, Stephen, can you share a success story where parent advocacy led to policy change or new opportunities for students?
Yeah. So we actually host this great thing in Atlanta called the Atlanta School Choice Expo. I'm sure you guys do something in Missouri. We've been doing this for the last eight years in our state. And every year we've kind of grown and brought new schools along those ways. And so one of the schools that we worked with and connected with was called Tapestry Public Charter. It's a school that's specifically 50% neurotypical students and then neurodivergent students. And so the school itself had been operating in the county that I live, which is DeKalb County here in Atlanta, for at least 10, 15 years. And they decided to expand their model into a county in Atlanta called Clayton County. So if you've ever been to the airport here in Atlanta or flown through it, you've actually thrown through Clayton County. It's not technically in Atlanta. It's a little secret that I tell everybody. But it is a district that has had a checkered past. Like a lot of the parents that there have worked with around having an ungraded education system. I will share that they have done some really great success and they've moved up the ladder in performance, but there's a need for more opportunity and more options. Over 80% of the families, when we surveyed them, wanted to see a charter school open in the district. And there was a need for kind of this conversation. And so I met with this parent. Her name is Ophelia. She is a mom of a student with autism. She was currently using a private school scholarship program here in our state, but she really wanted to send her kid back to the traditional public school system. And Ophelia said, hey, I would love to see something here in my county. Matt, who is the leader over at Tapestry Public Charter, started talking about expansion with us. And we said, hey, this is a great opportunity for us to tap into our parents and get connected. And Ophelia was like, I would love to go see the school. And I will tell you, the first time she walked into those doors, I couldn't stop her from hearing about, oh, I want this to be in Clayton. I want this to be an option for my son. Right. And so she has led kind of this advocacy movement this year. We actually started the dialogue last December with them. And then over the last few months, they started to connect with school board members. In March, she testified at the local school board. And one of her testimonies was pivotal to moving 2 school board members to actually vote in support and publicly display support for the charter expansion. Wow. In June of this year, she was able to see this actually become reality when they approved of Tapestry Public Charter School. It was the first one in 7 years in the state of Georgia. It's the first local one in 7 years. And then it's also one of the first ones in Clayton County in 5 years. The school is now going to be opening in August of 2026. And what's really been really powerful is that her testimony brought this conversation more forward. She was able to bring parents to Tapestry to show and say, hey, look at this model. But then they came back and testified at the local district to share a little bit more about why they cared about this school. And that kind of moved elected officials over. I will say sometimes it's that direct connection and that personal relationship. And seeing her testimony was a strong, powerful tool in the toolbox that we sometimes forget we have, that story that we all know about why we care about this work across the board. And I think that's really, really important. And it changed the way that we looked at it when it comes to this option for families in Clayton. I know it's a small win, but it's one of those wins that I think we sometimes forget about. We have to celebrate too as well.
No, it's not a small win. That's a big win.
Yes, it is.
Thank you for sharing that story, that success story.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Stephen, that was absolutely amazing. We just can't thank you enough for coming on the show this evening. And we know for sure that we're going to be seeing great things with Georgia Can and 50 Can the rest of this year and all of next year. And audience, please log on to 50 Can's website at 50can.org. I know there's maybe an upcoming seminar coming up, training. The trainings are absolutely amazing. If I could do it every time, I absolutely would do it. It was just so powerful, the information and all the resources. So Stephen, Quinn, thank you once again from 50 Can, Georgia Can. We thank you so much for coming on our show this evening.
Thank you.
Happy to be here and happy to help it anyway.
Thank you so much. Have a good evening.
Thanks.
Take care. Bye-bye. All right.
That was amazing.
That was amazing, Lisa. Absolutely amazing.
Yes.
Absolutely. All right. Well, I'm so used to us doing different things. I know we need to shift gears. We are going to hop into our education news, and I found this new website, Lisa, where it is basically called Chalk Talk, and it just gives all kinds of different education news. I believe that we are going to put the link for this. Um, Excuse me, I can't article in the description box below, but it is coming from Memphis, Tennessee. So Memphis school leaders say a door knocking campaign and increased outreach has helped put the district on track to reduce chronic absentee for the first time since well before the COVID-19 pandemic. They were really low in numbers with children being in school K through 12. Stacy Davis, the district's director of attendance and enrollment, said, and this is a direct quote, in an October board meeting that almost 1/3 of Memphis Shelby County school students are chronically absent each year, meaning they've missed more than 18 days of class. That is quite a bit. Davis said MSCS has historically struggled with attendance, most for kindergartners and high schoolers. But after 3 rounds of home visits, they had individuals that came together to do home visits and over the summer. And Davis said 1,000 unregistered students signed up to attend MSCS, which is the mobile Memphis Shelby County School District. That is amazing. 1,000 students. In another quote, Davis said the district gathered important information about family barriers to showing up. There were reasons. Parents were very open about what they needed. There was a lack of assistance and transportation, which was one of the biggest concerns that families had. And so last week, because this article was yesterday, so last week, MSCS board members adopted a resolution to expand bus services for students living within 2 miles of the school. Davis said school district leaders are hoping to improve truancy rates, which strictly measure unexcused absence and daily attendance rates by 2% this next coming school year. So they are really working hard to make sure that students are at school. They are making sure that they're talking to parents. In the article, it also discussed how they will continue to reach out and talk to parents along the way during this. But I don't want to talk too much about the article. It's such great information. It is being dropped right now into the comment section below. So please check out that article and more articles with our education news from around the U.S.
Thank you, Samoy, for sharing that education news with us.
Yes, you're so welcome.
Well, now it's time for our Why Wait for the Teacher segment, which is dedicated to sharing resources that empowers parents to teach and support their children's learning at home. Mm-hmm. The resource I want to share today is called Book It. Book It is a free reading program for children pre-K through 6th grade, designed to motivate kids to read more and build strong reading habits. Through the program, parents can track the students' achievements and goals and all that good stuff. And the best part about this, when kids meet their reading goals, they earn a free, delicious personal pan Pizza Hut pizza as a reward. So it's just a fun way to keep the kids encouraged reading at home while giving them a tasty treat to keep the pages turning.
That is absolutely amazing. Actually, my son, he was like listening and he heard pizza. So I'm sure after we get off this call, he's going to wonder, Mom, how can I get that pizza? That is absolutely amazing. What a great resource. Wow. That is awesome. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. And tasty. So, Lisa, I did find a resource as well. It is called Tween Tribune, and it is brought on by the Smithsonian Museum. It provides daily news articles for K-12 students categorized by different grade levels. It offers comprehension questions, quizzes, and includes a moderate comment section for students to engage with the content. The resource draws from new resources like the Associated Press and designed to help young people stay informed about current events, science, art, and culture. I think that was just an amazing, it's age appropriate for students. I actually went on and literally went down a rabbit hole, and from kindergarten to 12th grade, there was something for every student. For every type of whatever they enjoy, science, whatever, art, just a wonderful, wonderful free resource. I believe that the website is being dropped right now. We definitely will have all the links to all of these wonderful resources, as well as the education news in the comment section below. But yes, Tween Tribune. I know a lot of times students, when they, especially with, I know our oldest daughter, she's doing more papers and stuff like that, and finding some wonderful articles that is appropriate for her. I think it's very beneficial. So CEAM team, please check it out.
Thank you for sharing that resource, Samoy.
You are so welcome. You are so welcome.
Okay, we're coming to an end, Samoy.
I tell you what, we're going to have to, I get so upset when this happens. I'm like, no, not again already.
You did great. It was a good.
You too. Kudos. You too. Ditto.
Well, we hope that this live has truly inspired you who's watching to join the CEAM team and advocate for Missouri children to receive the quality education they deserve. Together, we can amplify our voices, take action, and create better educational opportunities for all children. CEAM team, let's keep spreading the word and making a difference together.
I know I keep saying this every time I'm going to have my violin and play some sad music, because I always get so bummed when we end our CEAM Live. But this was absolutely amazing. Such great information, and all gearing up for Advocacy Days coming up in January. Literally, January will be here before you know it.
Yes,
so
very soon.
So we want to make sure that our audience and supporters of School Options, because we need continued and improved and more options for families. So we are so excited to provide that for everyone.
And yes, thank you. Well, it's a wrap. Thank you all for joining us live, or if you're watching this in the future online, don't forget to check out our websites, ceamteam.org and showmeschooloptions.org. Please like us, follow us, and share the videos on all 4 of our social media platforms, which are Children's Education Alliance of Missouri on Facebook and LinkedIn, the CEAM team on Instagram, and that CEAM team on X. Make sure you follow some of the links in the comment section and get involved. Thank you all, and good night.
Good night, everyone.